Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to the September 9th through 11th edition of Show Business. I'm CP, brought to you, as always, with my hetero life mate, Peter, of Bearded Movie Guy. Peter.
Hey everybody.
Peter's a little under the weather today, so
Yeah.
I have to. You didn't have to sniffle for effect, Peter.
Oh no, I did. I have to, in case people are like, I don't know, does he look sick enough? Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, then.
That and I've been watching a lot of Narcos right now, so
Oh, all right.
great
Did
show if
you?
you haven't watched it.
I don't know where I saw this, but do you know what they actually use when they're instead of the actors, instead of cocaine? You know what they
Cocaine.
actually?
Um, I thought I heard about it one time, but I can't remember what it is.
It's vitamin D.
Oh really?
Yeah, and Jonah Hill said that he got really sick when they were filming Wolf of Wall Street because he was ingesting so much vitamin D.
Doing so much vitamin D.
It's a lot
Might
of.
as
That's a lot
well
of.
have just had real cocaine.
Yeah, yeah. Might have at least feel a little bit better while you're doing it. So we'll bring up last week with a couple of caveats, and we both saw the biggie of the week.
Yeah.
Sully, to just about nobody's surprise, won the weekend with 35. But my fault last week. There was a couple of new releases that I missed, and When the Ball Breaks was definitely one of them. Big enough to pull in 14
When the
million.
what breaks?
What'd I say?
You said ball.
When the bow breaks.
When the bow, I'm like, what, the ball breaks?
I, I don't know why I said that. When the bow breaks. Yeah, I have no I have no defense. I don't know why I said that. Don't Breathe. So it basically, Sully and When the Bow Breaks were the two biggies, and then Don't Breathe and Suicide Squad just kind of got pushed.
Yeah.
And the wildlife, I don't know a thing about.
It's what I saw the thing for a trailer, and like not the trailer, just like the thumbnail, and I was like, nope, I'm not even gonna watch it. And a lady at my work saw it. She took someone to see it, and she said halfway through she was just like, okay, I've wasted everybody's time by going to see this movie. She kind of got tricked into thinking, well, it's animated, it's probably like a Pixar, Disney, something or other, and like she said it was awful. So yeah, I'm sure it won't be in the top 5 next week.
Yeah, I mean, 3 million. That's
Yeah,
not.
that's your
That's not
premiere number.
right.
It's not that very
But
high.
we both did see Sully. Peter, your thoughts?
I liked Sully a lot. I thought it was really well done. I actually do have a review up for it. It's one of the first reviews I had in like a month since Jason Bourne.
Something to plug. Very good.
Yeah, plug my review. I even have a funny thing about where's my pants in the review, so go check that out. But yeah, no, I thought it was really, really well done. It, like we were talking about, it's a very short movie in there. Like it doesn't feel super short, but it's not a long runtime, so there's not a lot of I'd say time to breathe with some of the more like artistic moments that they might have had. Like they probably could have put 10, 15 more minutes in there with some reflective stuff, but overall the story is told really efficiently. I like it's told out of order, which is kind of what I thought it would be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes, and no. I mean,
Yeah,
the
well,
flashbacks kind of make it funky.
like you never see the full crash until like near the end of the movie
Well, yeah. Good point.
and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like so you see little bits here and there, but you don't see the full crash until like the actual whole thing and stuff. But I think it's handled really well. And Aaron Eckhart's mustache is just fantastic.
I too enjoyed it. I think it was a little short. Um, even Brad, my weekly movie date, he even said he was expecting to be in the theater for at least another half an hour. And he follows movies, but not to the extent that we do. And he was kind of shocked that. And he pointed out, I didn't even notice this, that we got more of a build up an introduction to the family that was golfing, the three, like it was father
Yeah.
and two sons or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we got more about them than we did about Sully, and it's true. I mean, it opens with well, I don't remember how it opens, but you're kind of like already in it
Yeah.
when the movie starts. Like there's no real okay, this is who he is. This is why he's here. It's just this guy's a pilot. He's going to go fly a plane, and some shit's going to happen. But it's true. We do get a bit more. All right, these guys are flying down to North Carolina because they're going golfing. They're a
Yeah.
family.
With their
This guy's
father. And,
this guy's a shitty golfer. That he won last. Like it was like so strange the amount of dust up they did on these golfing siblings, whatever you want to call them.
yeah.
And there's like for no reason. We never see anything else about them. It was just like here's
Yeah.
Buffer.
Well, yeah, they do show how like they end up like split up and stuff during the rescue.
Right.
And stuff like that, and how like the one guy ends up on the New Jersey side, and the other two end up on the New York side and stuff, and how that there's that, but it's I think part of the thing is right. Sully, like the character of Sully, overall is just a normal guy, right? Like, and so
Yeah.
I think it was like they chose to kind of show like they showed various things, like they showed him in flashbacks they show him learning to fly, and then they show him.
Yeah, him in the army or whatever, right?
And then him in
Air
the
Force.
army, I guess, or whatever it is. I guess the Air Force probably,
Right.
but where he like had a plane malfunction and he still landed it and stuff. And so like they show little things like that, and then all the rest is played out through conversations with his wife and the fact that like
the wife is utterly pointless. I'm sorry.
she's there just to show that like he's got a life back home, right? Like it's like because you don't know anything about Aaron Eckhart's character,
Right.
like. Other than he has a magnificent mustache, you don't know anything about the guy, and it's true. It's like you don't like you learn that he's new to flying on that particular aircraft, but he's been flying for a while. But other than that, you don't know anything. But for Sully, I think it's just like, okay, we got to show some kind of grounding in the fact that he's a family man, and they talk about the fact that he has a website, which makes it look like he has a business, but really it's just him. Like so they give little things here and there, but they don't like I think it was kind of just like, listen, we have to show that he's a real person, because he is obviously, but he's not like done anything super interesting, just like I haven't done anything super interesting, so having my backstory shown was pretty boring too.
Well, listen, I mean, even Brad said it. He said, what, make something up. Like, I mean, shit, like, take some liberties. Like,
well, here's yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Finish what you're gonna say.
Well, I mean, they what they do is they have these like moments where he's like envisioning what could have, like when he's in the hotel and he's just like gazing out the window and he envisions a plane crashing into the city. Then I think he envisions it crashing into something else. Like he envisions it crashing a couple of times, and it's just like, all right, that's kind of filler.
Yeah.
They could have dramatized the relationship between him and the NTSB or whatever the organization of like
the
people
FFA or FAA.
Okay.
I still say it wrong.
So they could have dramatized that a little bit further. Like take liberties with why that was happening. Take liberties with how it played out. Like
no, here's the only reason I think maybe he didn't do that.
Okay.
Is because Clint Eastwood got a lot of crap about
American Sniper
because they took a lot of liberties with that movie.
Great movie.
It was a very entertaining, well done movie, but they took a heck of a lot of liberties with the guy's life and like certain aspects of the way he was and stuff. And people kind of went, that's not like, because they played it like this is his life, and meanwhile a lot of it didn't actually happen that way.
Well,
and they made it cinematic. It made it more cinematic.
Let's call a spade a spade. This is a guy who got sued posthumously, who got sued for saying shit in his book that wasn't true.
Yeah.
And it turned out that it was true that he wasn't. It was true that he was lying. So
yeah.
This is a guy that kind of played around with the truth to begin with. So
Yeah.
Why not? I
But I
mean,
guess I think Clint Eastwood probably was just like, listen, last time I got raked over the coals because people were like, hey, this didn't happen and this did. And
yeah.
like that's the problem with biopics, right? Like when you do a biopic, it's just like how close do you want to stick to the story? Do you want to change little things here and little things there? And like he changed enough, and like there was no big sniper battle between the main character Chris Kyle or whatever his name is and
Mhm.
this other guy Mustafa or whatever. Like
Well,
this never
apparently that,
happened and stuff.
yeah, right. Apparently that Mustafa thing, that was just kind of
It
a,
was this little minor thing
right,
that happened, and they
right,
turned it into
right.
this big thing that, you know, and it's just like I think he probably just went, you know what? Let's just tell the story as accurately as we possibly can,
Yeah.
and we'll leave all that other stuff out. And I don't know. I'm fine with the fact they did it like that. I'm sure. Like I've heard there are people from the FAA that are upset about the way they've been characterized in the film. They don't like the
Well,
way they're coming
the
off and
like
stuff.
the courtroom, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, the
and
thing at the end. Yeah,
it plays out so nonchalantly and undramatic. Like it's just so, all right, this is what happens, and then
yeah.
not to spoil it. Well, listen, he lands the plane.
He lands the plane, everyone survives. I said it in my
Right,
review. It's like,
right,
sorry if you were thinking I'm spoiling something, but it was in the news, so
right, right.
everyone
So,
survived.
yeah, so
That's
they play it one way and it happens, and then they do it a second way, and then that thing happens, and it's just like,
yeah.
oh, okay. Like there's no tension, no drama. Like make it be that, I mean, if you made it seem like that, if Sully were proven that what he did was wrong, that he
Yeah.
would lose his job and like he could be sued. Like I feel like in the film there's nothing at stake. It's
Well,
just
he does worry about that. Like he talks about it, the fact that he maybe end up like he won't be flying anymore if they came out of
mhm,
that in a bad way. And then they like, yeah, spoiler, but like they do show the the or the pilots doing the simulated
yeah,
run doing it fine, and he's just like crap. You know, you can see,
mhm,
and then they go, okay, let's take the human factor into this, and
yeah,
add all that stuff. So like, I don't, like, I thought there was a decent amount of drama for that, especially when it gets revealed like how many times they did it to practice and all this kind of
mhm,
stuff. And
mhm.
then and that's when they put the headphones on and it cuts back to the actual thing. Um, I don't know. My main complaint about the movie, if anything, was the ending. The very end of the film was just like, boom, it's over. It's like it ends on a joke.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
ends on a literal, and I'm not kidding, a joke. And then it ends, and it doesn't give any wrap up to any of the characters. At least I don't think so. Like we stayed about 30, 40 seconds into the credits, and it was just credits.
yeah.
So I thought there'd be, oh, and Sully did this and this and this and this. Aaron Eckhart's character did this and this and this. You know, and
Right.
it's like shows some stuff that came out of like maybe the investigation and like for like stuff that might have they've taken effects to steps to what would happen, and now there's like a process in place if you get hit by birds this close to the airport, you know, blah, 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 blah. But none of that. It literally just ends on a joke and then it ends. And there's like no follow up to any of the characters. It doesn't talk about Sully is still flying. It doesn't talk about the fact, you know, it just ends. And so that to me, I was like, okay, that was kind of really abrupt ending. Just like you think
It
there would be something showing where the people went and
it
what they
really
did.
is. It is skimpy. I mean,
Yeah.
and especially considering Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood kind of, fills things out. It'll be a good gauge because this week we got Oliver Stone's biopic about, and again,
Snowden.
about
Yeah.
something that's not that old, something that's
Yeah.
rather fresh in the news. So,
Yep.
I mean, how much can you cover? So we'll see what Oliver Stone manages to throw around this upcoming weekend. But
I don't know. I enjoyed Sully overall. Thought it was like a very well made movie, but it could have been more fleshed out for sure. Even if like without embellishing anything, they could have fleshed it out a bit more.
mhm.
And I definitely, like I said, I think it ends really abruptly, and it's just like, and it's over. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, why didn't you tell us what happened to them? Why didn't you say it like, you know? It's like this person did this and this person did that. It doesn't do any of that. It literally just ends, and it's just like, I guess it's like, if you really want to know more, go check Wikipedia and you can find out more about these people. But it's like, could have, there was no, the one thing, especially with Closure, you never see Sully with his wife, right? Like, so he
Again,
calls
no
her
reason to have her.
many times throughout the film, right? And there's this whole, like, media attention, blah blah, but you never see them reunite. You never see them talk. You never see them. And like, the trailer kind of made it look like he was estranged from his wife. That, like, he was not in a good relationship with her, and like, that's my first impact I got from the trailer was, oh, like, so he's kind of like, having trouble with his wife and stuff. But no, it's like him and his wife have a really good relationship. He's just, not there because he's in New York stuck doing the investigation, and she's back home with media all over their lawn and stuff like that. So like, they I think they kind of missed opportunities for stuff like that. You should have saw them reunite. You should have saw them, like, you should have saw something, but like, it just ends, and this is like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, it's just, it's good. It is good. It's just
rushed.
It's surprisingly skimpy.
Yeah.
Last week we asked a question kind of aloud to see if anybody had something they wanted to comment on, if they had an opinion about the 2016 summer and just how just crappy it is, and is it the worst summer of the 21st century? And Ken's movie reviews, he brought up 2001, and so I looked at it, and it's certain, if not a better year, it's certainly worth talking about. It's probably in the conversation of top 3 worst summers of the 21st century. Let me read you off I guess I'll go 1 to 20 here, Peter. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings Fellowship, Shrek, Monsters Inc., Rush Hour 2, Mummy Returns.
What is this?
No, hold on.
The summer or the year?
There's a bit of a punchline, Peter.
Okay, I'm confused.
This is 2001.
Okay.
All right. So Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings Fellowship, Shrek, Monsters, Rush Hour 2, Mummy Returns, Pearl Harbor, Ocean's 11, Jurassic Park 3, Planet of the Apes, Beautiful Mind, Hannibal, American Pie 2, Fast and the Furious, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Dr. Dolittle 2, Spy Kids, Black Hawk Down, Princess Diaries, Vanilla Sky. That's the top 20 of the year 2001.
Okay.
Now, Harry Potter, November. Lord of the Rings, December. Monsters Inc., November. Ocean's 11, December. Beautiful Mind, December. Hannibal, February. Black Hawk Down, December. Vanilla Sky, December. Shrek is the highest grossing summer movie. You then have Rush Hour 2, Mummy Returns, Pearl Harbor, Jurassic Park 3, Planet of the Apes. That's the Planet of the Apes remake. That's the Mark Wahlberg one. Yeah.
That was terrible.
I think Ken's got he's got a valid argument here. I mean, of the movies that are top, 1 to 20 that are worthwhile, they're not summer movies. And you can kind of say the same thing this year, that some of the good movies came out either like in the winter or we're still waiting on them. Mm-hmm. So Peter, do you agree, disagree? Does the list, sound good to you? Like,
for summer movies, no, it doesn't. It's funny. This is something I got to talk to you about doing more. But my buddy, I used to do something called Top 7 Saturdays, and he came up to me and said, he's like, I want to do a top. He goes, you should do a Top 7 Saturdays, but he goes, do like worst summer season. And like, he goes, because this summer has sucked so bad. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you're gonna have to do research and all this kind of stuff. He goes, but I was thinking maybe of doing that with you as a collaboration, because like, and looking maybe at the last 20 years or 30 years and what has been the worst summer, like just summer, for movies, and then go through the year, because this year sucked, and that year sounds like it sucked too. Like there's some good movies that year, obviously, but they're all
2001
later.
is. like, yeah, Shrek's the biggest. Rush Hour 2, Mummy Returns, Pearl Harbor, Jurassic Park 3, Planet of the Apes. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. American Pie 2, I guess, is okay. The Fast and the Furious, I guess, is. I mean, that's the first one.
That's the Fast one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the first one.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Doctor Doolittle 2. Like, these are stinky, 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 stinky movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and if I go back again, Harry Potter. All right, that's November. Lord of the Rings. That's
Yeah.
December.
December.
Monsters
Yeah.
Inc. November.
So I
Like,
was like, what are you talking about? These are all like December movies.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
Ocean's
all the
11,
big.
great movie. It came out in
Yeah.
December though. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the big movies of the year, all the best movies of the year. It'd be interesting to see what else came out that year that didn't make in that list that are still like way better movies than the stuff that did. Because I'm sure there was stuff that came like that were like, you know, you look at them now and go, oh, that's a great movie, and you're like, yeah, but Doctor Little 2 made way more money than it. It's like,
Oh, you mean
so
like that? Well, yeah. I mean, Training Day here is 29th. Came out in
yeah,
October.
like Nice Guys
Oh.
is as far as I'm concerned the best movie of the summer that I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I still have yet to see Green Room and all that stuff, right? So, but the ones I saw, if you ask me what the best movie of the summer was, it's hands down The Nice Guys. Nice
Dude,
Guys made nothing at the box office.
absolutely.
So
Dude, there's some heartbreakers here. I'm looking down. Blow. You know, not a great movie, not an A+, but certainly a good night if you're going to rent a movie that you haven't seen before. Blow with Johnny Depp. Have you seen this?
no, I've never seen Blow.
Good. Okay,
One of the ones I
good
missed.
movie if you can find
Yeah.
it. Good. 2-hour killer. Um, what
Back when
else do we
Johnny Depp
got here?
wasn't fully crazy.
Yeah. Moulin Rouge. It's 43rd that year. I don't like
Never seen that
musicals.
one.
I
Never
enjoyed that
Yeah, I
movie.
hate musicals, so I
I
didn't want to
actually,
see that.
yeah. Enemy at the Gates. I kind of really kind of enjoyed. Not that
I
big a
like that
deal.
movie.
Yeah.
That's a decent movie. Good acting, you know.
Hmm.
Ed Harris. It's really great in that.
Yeah. One of the few Jude Law movies that it's just like, why couldn't he get something off of this?
Yeah, didn't do too well, unfortunately. But yeah,
No,
it's
no, yeah, 43rd.
good movie. Yeah, good
I'm
movie.
looking down here.
Maybe
Memento,
attacked
88th.
by a fly. Yeah, so it's like it's just like Memento. It's like
And it,
if we're ranking the movies by which best movies, it's like that would be in the top 10 of that year easily. But
and the most theaters it was in was 531. Can you
wow,
imagine? They gave Christopher Nolan a blank check for Inception, and they couldn't get Memento in 1,000
well,
screens.
that's because he proved himself on that one,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like Nolan was parts lucky and parts smart, right? Like so, it's like he had to have certain things fall in place for him that he had no control over. And so,
Mhm.
like when Memento hit and got so much recognition by filmmakers, he was like, it allowed him to then them go, okay, we see that you can do stuff, and then that's why they gave him.
Are you still talking? That's why they gave him what?
What they give him? Insomnia.
Oh, yeah. Are you still talking? Are you still pausing? You paused to say insomnia, and now I don't know if you're talking anymore. Nope, your
And
face is.
Insomnia. I'll go like this. Go back and forth.
What? Go back again about insomnia?
Insomnia. Don't tell me I'm good.
All right,
I'm not glitching.
insomnia.
Okay, insomnia is a test. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, so they looked at Memento and went, okay, we want to see what you can do with a budget and a cast. And so they gave him Robin Williams, Al Pacino, in a movie that was a remake of like a Norwegian film or something like that. So it's like, it had already been a hit there. So they're like, we know the material's good. We just need you to make it for an American audience with stars.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like it's the only film really that he hasn't had a real hand in their scripting, like in the
And it's probably
right.
the least you
Oh,
know,
it's
like,
one of his weak. It's his weak film out of
mm-hmm,
all his films. It's still a
mm-hmm,
good film, but it's his weakest film. But it's
mm-hmm.
because it's not his. He's remaking somebody else's film and
What are
doing
the
the
odds?
best he
It's
can with it.
hysterical.
But it like they gave him that purely as a okay. Let me see you can work with stars. Let me see you can. It's like prove yourself that you can do what we want. And then that he came back after that and went, okay, what do you want next? And he came at them with Batman, with all this other stuff remade already. So like when he showed up for Batman, he didn't show up with a I'd like to make a Batman movie. He showed up with diagrams and models and presented it to them. And because Batman and Robin sucked so much and they thought the franchise was dead forever, they went, oh, what the hell? We can't do any worse than that. It's like, and like, that got him Prestige, which did well, and Prestige, like they wanted Dark Knight, and so when he did Dark Knight, then they gave him Inception to let him have what he wanted. It was all working up to Inception, right? Like he
It,
never gets Inception if he didn't do Insomnia. It's
and what's strange is he wouldn't have done Dark Knight without, like, we don't get Dark Knight without Prestige, right? And we
yeah,
don't
pretty
get
much.
Inception without Dark Knight. Like,
Yep.
two of the best movies of the 21st century. We don't get, if like
Yeah.
the amount of luck we have. Just
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, please just keep making movies, and somebody
Yeah.
keep throwing money at him, please.
Well, now I
Please.
think he after Dark Knight, they kind of established it. Like, listen, just let this man like stay out of his way and give him some money and
Mm-hmm.
just let him make like, oh, he wants to shoot on film, let him shoot on film. Who cares? It's like
Right.
he wants to do everything practical instead of CGI, let him do it. It's just it's kind of like Warner Brothers has just gone, you know what, we don't have much else going for us right now.
Yeah.
Here's some money. Go do something and we'll put it out whenever you feel like it. And
No.
like that again, Interstellar never would have got made if it hadn't been for him, because like you give that to another director, they wouldn't trust that with direct. Like it's just they're willing to give it to him because they're like, oh no, it's Christopher Nolan, he'll make money for us, doesn't matter.
Let me ask you something, Peter.
So
With the current climate the way it is, and the complete lack of stability
yeah,
within just yeah, studios just don't know what they're doing. Do you think it would be beneficial to somebody like, say, Sony, who they just can't, they don't know, they can't get out of their own way apparently?
yeah,
Would it be beneficial for somebody like them to pull a classic golden age of Hollywood and sign some, like, a director to like a 3-picture deal or something,
yeah,
and pull a Christopher Nolan and say, listen, we'll give you a certain amount of money, but you got to make at least 3 movies for us.
yeah. No, I think it'd be smart if like name some directors that you'd want that for. Like for me, if you're like, okay, names like other
Tarantino,
than Christopher
Nolan,
Nolan,
yeah,
obviously like Nolan and Tarantino are off, like because they're gonna do whatever they're
Scorsese.
gonna do. So like new directors, if I could lock up a new director right now, I would lock up Denis Villeneuve. Um, he's done Sicario. He did
Mm.
what else did he do? Frick, Prisoners, Enemy, and he's doing The Arrival. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he did Enemy.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I'm pretty sure he did Enemy.
See,
So
I always get Enemy and the Tom Hardy one mixed up,
which Tom Hardy
where he's
one?
in a car.
Oh, Locke.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know
Locke's
why.
Locke. Very different movies.
They both have 5 letters. Like, I don't
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Enemy's the one where Jake Gyllenhaal
mm-hmm.
is like
2
seeing
people, something like that.
himself, and there's a giant spider that pops up and scares the crap out of you.
Yeah, I have not seen that.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good and confusing though. It's like terror. Like you don't know what's going on half the time, but it's really good. But he did like he's remaking. He's doing the sequel to Blade Runner.
Oh, okay.
So and he's treating it with a certain amount of respect. He's like, this is scaring the crap out of me. He's like, it's Blade Runner. It's like, so like him or Ryan Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally like. He's done Brick, Brothers Bloom, and Looper, and he's doing. What is he doing? He's doing one of the Star Wars films, I think.
A little space movie come out in December.
Yeah. Is he doing number 8?
Oh no.
Who's doing?
Yes,
Or is he doing?
if he's not, wait, who's doing Rogue One?
That's the guy Edward Gareth
All right, so
or
then it is Ryan
Gareth
Johnson
Edwards.
doing 8.
Gareth Edwards.
So
Yeah,
yeah, Ryan
Ryan.
Johnson's doing 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So like before even I knew Star Wars, like he had any attention to things Star Wars. If you could let me pick up some directors for 3 or 4 picture deals, I'd pick those 2 guys, and
Mm-hmm.
just and not tell them what to do. I'd be like, literally, here's some money. Go make pictures
Yeah,
for
see,
us.
something like speaking on a studio's behalf, you're going to want some sort of security in a 3-picture deal.
Yeah.
Some of those guys only have 3 major films under their belt. I would assume that somebody like on a studio's behalf, if they're going to dish out a 3-picture contract, the director's got to have at least, I don't know what, 7 films under their belt.
I don't know, because the ones that have 6, 7 films don't need the 3 picture deals, right? So it's like you want to grab
I
someone
don't
who's
know, man.
newer
Like,
and fresh, right?
did you
But
see? Go ahead.
no, I was going to say you make it all contingent on the back end, right? So it's like
Mm.
their paycheck all comes from the back end. So it's like if the movie fails, you haven't spent that much money, and like the director, most of his budget, like most of his income, is coming out of the back end. Like, and I'm assuming you know what I mean by the back end, right?
Come on.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
checking.
Well,
If anyone,
you could
yeah,
explain for the audience.
if anyone doesn't know, which probably everyone does, but the back end is basically the box office of the film. And so when a movie, sometimes movies, the studio actually doesn't have too much faith in the movie. And so directors and sometimes even the stars will say, listen, okay, forget my salary. It's like you were going to pay me $5 million to do this movie. Forget that. I want 3% or 5% of the box office. And if the studio thinks, okay, well, this film's going to fail, they'll do that. They'll save $5 million, and it sometimes pays off. Other times, such as like Forrest Gump, which midway through filming they wanted to stop filming on that movie, and and Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks both said no. It was like take our salaries out, put us on the back end, which for them made them tons of money because that movie hit huge. Like Forrest Gump made massive money. And so it's like for them, it's like, oh, by the way, you get 5% of $500 million. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know what that is because I'm not going to do math, but that's a lot of money. It's like, right? So it's just they could structure the deal that it's all paid through, like majority, like they get this much per picture,
Yeah,
and then this much per the back end and stuff like that.
right. You have the directors work for scale.
Yeah.
And say, listen, I'm going to gamble on myself here. You pay me minimum wage.
Yep.
But I want the budget I want. You got to let me do my movie, and let's all get rich off this. Like, you know what? Just you got to have faith in me because I'm taking as little as you can give me, but let's really make a good movie here. I think if they started doing things like that, I mean, will it solve the problem? No. Will we?
No, but it'll get us some freaking good movies.
Yeah, we'll get at least 1 in 4. At least 1 in 4 movies will be like, you know what, that was really good. So there was other news this week that it goes against everything we've been trying to prevent, or it goes right into everything we've been talking about. So the Anne Hathaway movie Colossal, which I guess was shown at TIFF, makes me wish we had Tyrell listen with us because maybe he's seen it. It sold to a mystery Chinese buyer.
Really?
So I don't know if that means China's gonna get it exclusively first. But apparently there was an Anne Hathaway starred sci-fi thriller called Colossal. Apparently it showed at it says Toronto here, so I'm assuming TIFF.
It's TIFF. TIFF's on right now, so it would have shown at TIFF.
So what do you think is going to happen to this film, and how do you feel about this?
Well, I'm fine with it as long as they release it worldwide. I don't know. Like, the thing is, though, generally people don't buy films not to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless you're a billionaire that's like, oh, I like that movie. I don't want anyone ever to see it past the night.
It's all mine.
So I'm gonna buy it, and then I'm gonna kill these 56 people in the room that saw it with me, and then I'll be the only person to ever see the film. It's not like that. It's like most people buy films to make money off them, and it's because they think, "Ooh, this is going to be a good film." It's for because a lot of stuff, like there are some films that, like, a lot of them get made by smaller production companies and stuff, totally off studio dime. Like the studio doesn't pay a cent for them, and then they're presented at stuff like TIFF and Sundance and all that kind of stuff. And studios go, we like that. We will pay you $8 million for your film.
Mm-hmm.
We want to release it. And so it's like, oh, awesome. It's like the director and the production company. That's when they get their payday and stuff. But it's like, the average film that's made at a studio, it's all studio money, so it doesn't matter. But there's a bunch of films that are like that, where, like, I'm trying to think who does it. It's like one of the directors, I think, says he completely makes the film himself and then takes it. Or I think it's Robert Rodriguez said that he makes his movies like without any studio interference. It's just his own studio, Troublemaker Studios, and then goes to sell them to the studios and says, like, okay, here's the film, and shows it to them, and they go, okay, we want to buy that, and then he allows them to put their name on it, like they were involved in it. So it's like Paramount presents studio, like Troublemaker Productions, Sin City 5, whatever. But it's like they haven't meanwhile done a thing to the film. It's just they bought the rights to distribute it. So I don't know, like, but when you do that, you want to make money. So maybe he wants to see China first. Maybe he's just, dude, we have a huge, if it's in TIFF, who knows? It could be someone from Toronto, man. We have a massive Asian population in Toronto. If it was just someone who owns a production company that was like, hey, we could do that, and got there first and got the, like, sometimes it's not necessarily the most money that wins, it's whoever gets there first wins.
Yeah, I just think it's funny, like the China market is is being respected for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure why, because we've been looking at their numbers either 2 or 3 weeks. You're not going to see them tonight. I apologize. Today's kind of an abridged episode. But a big weekend is 50 million over there. Like, I don't know what the long con is. Like, I don't.
Well, it is and it isn't. Like, it's like, again, like, what's it called? Like, Warcraft made 140 its opening weekend there. And like, so the Chinese audience want big action fun films, so they could care less about Quentin Tarantino, right? Because there's way too much talking. It's like other than Kill Bill, the talking to killing ratio is way too high.
That makes me happy knowing that too, by the way.
It does. Yeah, it makes me thrilled that I'm like, yeah, Tarantino, just keep making what you do, and it's like, you'll make me happy. But it's the films that translate well, because you don't need a lot of dialogue. Right. Doesn't matter if you understand. It's the same thing. Like when I was a kid and I used to watch Hong Kong films in Cantonese with no subtitles, because I didn't have that option. I had no clue what exactly was going on. I could tell that guy was the cop and that guy was the bad guy, and it's just like, was it not as fun to watch? Sure, I'd like to know what they're exactly saying, but did it really matter? Could I tell what was going on and I saw that the good guy won in the end? Sure. I would still watch Godzilla films the same way.
That guy was angry, but then that guy hurt that guy, and the guy with the smile won.
Yeah. Like, Godzilla came in, stomped all over everything. The army tried to stop him. Godzilla pissed them off. They tried to fight him again. Godzilla won and walked back into the ocean. That was every freaking Godzilla film. And it didn't matter that I really didn't know what they were saying. I just watched it anyways, because it was Godzilla. So those are the films that translate well, right? Like, so.
Well, what's I don't know, frightening, scary, alarming? It's not a thing yet. Again, realize that this is just what would I say? Not a prediction so much as it is just a worried realization that could be a what if, I guess. But for them to go out of their, like, and there could be something, the guy's daughter could be in it, and that's why he's buying it.
Maybe.
But for China to go out and, let's just say this is what's happening, to go buy a film to release it first is kind of alarming. There's not much about the exclusivity. Like, let's just say, for argument's sake, China went out and bought the rights to Star Wars Episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they think that people would go flock to China to go see it if they held it for a month? Like, I don't understand what.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't.
Right.
Well, like no, like if that's what they're thinking, I don't think so. But I think you get a bunch of press who would go to China and a bunch of rich people who wanted to see the film, right?
Yeah.
But overall, it's like schmucks like us aren't going to be flying to China to see a movie 1 month earlier than we can see it now. It's like I don't fly to England to see, like, they get stuff 2 weeks early sometimes, and then they get stuff 6 months late. So
It's just interesting. It's just interesting is all, and it's only news now, and in 6 months we're going to find out that it's just being released worldwide, and this is all for naught. But it's just interesting to hypothesize. And
it could be like China, from what I'm understanding, wants to be taken seriously as a film, as a film culture. And like that's why, like, it's interesting that, like, to me, The Great Wall with Matt Damon coming out, it's very interesting because it's like this is the first film, as far as I know, that's backed by Chinese money, that is like Chinese director, Chinese cast, Chinese story, American star. And we talked about it before, like, he is one of the biggest American stars for action films that can actually act. Like, I still don't think we got anyone else other than Tom Cruise that kind of was on the same level. So it's just interesting that they want that. And so it's like, how's the easy? Because I guarantee you, if you put, and I love Donnie Yen, and Donnie Yen, we talked about the fact that Ip Man made more in
Star Wars.
Beat Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Star Wars promptly noticed that and put Donnie Yen in their next Star Wars film, which is freaking brilliant. I can't blame them. They're just like, crap, we can't beat them. Let's just take their star and put them in our film, and we'll make them awesome. And Donnie Yen is like an actual, like, super badass guy in the world. Like, he can kick ass, but he can also act. He's actually a really decent actor. So I'm happy to see that, right? But it's just like they want people in America. I think, like, more than anything, the Chinese film industry wants to be taken seriously, and so they're just like, crap. Well, let's make some films that are our films, but let's bring in some American people, because generally, if you release Great Wall with Donnie Yen as your main star in America, nobody cares. Like, I care, but the box office doesn't care, because there's no bankable act. How did Ben-Hur do with John Huston as its main star, right? No one went and saw it because no one knows, it's
not even internationally, right?
Yeah, no one knows him. And again, he's a good actor. No one knows him, and it's a story that they've already seen, so no one cared. But it's just, everyone knows Matt Damon. Like, if you know film, you know who Matt Damon is. So I think the Chinese were like, we need to get a name to, like, we just need a name in our story so that people will see the movie. And without that name, people aren't going to see the movie. So,
Peter, Luke is Blu-ray Danning you right now.
Oh, what's he saying?
He says he loves you.
Huh.
So you might as well lee it and say you love him back.
I'm quite affectionate of you, Luke. I love you too, Luke. My Welsh brother from another mother.
See, I'm so glad that we don't have to pander to people in a chat, even though you just pandered. That was such a chore sitting through that.
I am a fan of Luke's. So.
Oh, of course, I'm a fan of Luke too, but I don't need to say I love you. I love you. Please.
I don't know why. Let's ask Luke. Why did you say you love me? Was it just to mess us up? Or
it was a reference. It was a reference to Monday when Blu-ray Dan said "I love you, Lee," and Lee said "I love you, Blu-ray Dan,"
okay.
and then they just went back and forth.
I thought he just happened to be liking the way I was talking. I don't know. He was like, "Peter's had some good things to say. I love that guy."
No, why would he say that?
I should tell him that in all caps.
Just kind of, China. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Well, it's interesting. I'm not so much afraid as I
No,
want
no,
to
no,
see
no,
what they
no.
want to do. You know
Don't
what I
get
mean? Like,
afraid because what you have is you have more summers of 2016 where it's just like, America, but China, what does China want? Okay, China, look, we did another Independence Day. We did this. We included some Chinese people here. We did that.
yeah,
America's like, hey guys, we're Hollywood, right? I'm just checking
yeah,
we're Hollywood.
yeah. But
Okay, no.
would it be interesting if like 5 years from now, all our best summer blockbusters are coming out of China?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like,
More movies is a good thing.
and like fresh ideas are a good thing, right? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like you have it's like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but it's Stranger Things is kind of like a love letter to the 80s, like late 70s and 80s. With like there's so much geek culture from the 70s and 80s thrown in there, right? What if like China starts basically making love letters to Hollywood, right, in their films, because you have all these new talents in
Mm-hmm.
in China that are none, like, we don't know them,
Right.
but they've been watching Hollywood movies for years, and now they want to give that back, and it's just like it could be really good for all I know. Like, we could be seeing they could be saying, "Hey, Hollywood, you're stuck doing this." Meanwhile, we like it's like, because you think we like to say, yeah, it's like Transformers sells here. Well, we could make something 10 times cooler than that here and sell it back to you,
I
because
hope
that's what China
so.
likes doing. China likes taking what we like and then making it better and then selling it back to us.
They like taking what we like and then like I don't know, making it cheaper or like I mean, if you look at some of their bootleg cars and things like that,
Yeah.
like Japan, like I feel like Japan doesn't make solid movies. They make really good movies or really fucking weird movies. Like I forgot what I was looking through that somebody uploaded something, Headman Face or something, some Japanese movie that I don't know what the name of the friggin' movie is. It was made in 2007, and it's about these giant people, and it's like the main character is a head on like one leg, um, and it's kind of Godzilla-ish
Yeah.
because they're giant people running around through. I'm assuming the city was Japan. Uh,
Japan's not a city. Japan is a
Big
country.
Big Man Japan is the name of the
Oh, I
movie.
did see I did see something for that once.
And
I never saw the whole thing. I just remember seeing it. I think I actually saw it in my library, just on the shelf, and I never ended up
right.
watching it.
So there's that. So like
Yeah,
that's the underbelly of what other people could perceive of our type of film.
yeah, but like, look at all the technology that comes in of China and Japan and
Mhm,
stuff. That's like
mhm.
way ahead of what we got. Way, like, they come up with stuff and they're like, "Wow, where'd you get that?" Oh, it's China. It's like, so it's one of those things where I'm just like, this we don't know, and so this could hypothetically be an interesting, good thing. Like, we're gonna get some shitty movies, don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but we could also get some movies that would not be made in the Hollywood system that are better than the Hollywood system.
No, you're right. I
It's
mean,
like that. Like, here, that's fingers crossed. That's the best scenario that I can come up with.
I just
So
feel like it and Luke's got a point. We always talk about China, and then we always talk about the multiplexes,
yeah,
not showing enough. I feel like if they get around to spreading those 20 screens, if we could somehow get some, if
yeah,
Green Room can play on 3,000 screens for at least 2 weeks,
yeah,
then maybe something's happening. But you know, the better movies aren't making it to the cinemas, and that's really kind of frustrating. I mean, if you look at most people's top threes of the year, at least one of them didn't get a wide release.
yeah,
I think my entire top three is nothing but uh, minor releases, and that's not like I thoroughly enjoyed Jurassic World. I'm not trying to sound like a snob or anything. It's just
yeah,
2016 was the summer was really bad.
yeah.
really bad. I think Suicide Squad would be my pick of 2016. Oh no, you're right. You're right. Nice Guys technically would count. So yeah.
Yeah, Nice Guys was a summer movie. And
Oh wait, Swiss Army Man. I would consider
yes, yeah,
that was
another one I
technically.
didn't get to see.
Oh,
I wanted to.
oh,
And again, that
boo.
we if you didn't if anyone watches this in the future, we had this big conversation about how it was only playing in one theater in Toronto. And then it opened up in 5 other theaters, but they're all like an hour away from me. And I live like 40 minutes from downtown Toronto, so that's saying something. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just if it had opened at the one theater that was close to me, that was a 24 multiplex kind of thing, I would have driven the
Mm-hmm.
25 minutes, like roughly 20 minutes to see it. But I'm not going to be driving an hour. I got too much stuff to do.
No,
Although
I
I will drive in an hour to see Dunkirk on 70 millimeter when that comes out. That I will go downtown Toronto and make a night of it for that. So
okay, so the upcoming week, I have down at the bottom here,
okay.
Peter. If you see, Bridget Jones is getting the widest release of the week for some stupid asinine reason. Blair Witch. Don't sleep on Blair Witch neither, because I don't know. They're doing some weird, funky advertising for it. And this is the year of the horror.
Yeah.
And Snowden is.
Snowden.
I want to say Snowden's the big.
I want to see Snowden, but it looks like a movie I can totally wait to see.
Oh right.
Like there's nothing cinematic about it that you're like, well, you got to see that in a theater. It's just like I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is like insanely talented. And I'm not the hugest Oliver Stone fan, but I don't hate his movies.
Right.
I think he's made some good ones. I think he's made some not so good ones. So, like this, it looks interesting, but I don't think it's going to do. I think it'll do less than Sully did this week for sure.
Right.
Because that's a much more entertaining, like interesting thing, the plane crash than the whole leaking of documents and stuff.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go first here. I'm gonna say Snowden number one. Snowden 1. I'm going to say Sully 2. I'm going to say Blair Witch 3. I'm going to say Bridget Jones 4. And Don't Breathe 5.
Okay. I'm going with Hillsong, number 1.
I wrote it down. It's already your pick.
Do you know what Hillsong is?
No.
Yeah, I can tell you.
What is it?
Hillsongs is it's a church thingy. Hillsongs are like a type of choir band, kind of like worship team.
Oh, it might go number 1.
And they have, and that won't. I don't know why they've made a movie of it. Like I understand why they've done they've recorded a session basically of what they've done. I don't know why they're trying to make it into a movie. Maybe they're doing like behind the scenes thing. I don't know.
Dude, Christian.
But it's basically it's a big Christian praise and worship thing. And I can't make fun of Hillsongs because they have some amazing songs and all that kind of stuff. And like I've actually had to play some of them, and some of them are very good. But that's what it is. I don't know why they're making it a film. So yeah, I'm gonna go number 1. Bridget Jones's Baby.
I really hope you're wrong.
I so hope I'm wrong.
I don't mind if I'm wrong. I just hope you're wrong. I'm
sadly I'm hoping I'm wrong, but okay. Bridget Jones Baby. We'll go. I'm gonna go Sully.
Sully 2.
Then Blair Witch.
Oh, so controversial. Uh-huh.
Then Snowden.
Mm-hmm.
Then Don't Breathe.
Wow, from 2 to 5 were the same picks.
Yeah.
Boring. Interesting. Oh no, wait, we're not.
We're not the same
We
picks.
swapped 1 and 4. We swapped 1 and
Like
4.
there has to be something different there, because I remember.
All right, so we both have Sully and Blair Witch at 2 and 3.
Yeah.
We both have Don't Breathe at 5, but I have Snowden at 1. You have Snowden at 4. You have Bridget Jones at 1. I have Bridget Jones at 4.
Yeah. I hope you're right. I seriously do.
Oh, on Bridget, yeah.
I'd be happy if you were right and I came out like, I'm fine not getting the points on that one, but like that's just what I think is gonna do, because I think there's a lot of women who'll go see Bridget Jones's baby.
It is weird that that's getting the most screens out of everything being released this week.
It tells you something.
I don't know.
The theaters think it's gonna do well.
Let's not get started back on the theaters.
Again, they're not always right, but quite often.
No.
So.
Yeah, and then is it next week or the week after we get Magnificent Seven?
I think it's next week.
Is it really like 8 days away? Are we getting it in 8 days?
No, it wouldn't be 8 days, would it?
No, well, tomorrow's 9 days. Tomorrow's
9 days.
Yeah, Thursdays are when I see it. So.
Hold on, let me see the calendar.
So
no,
checking.
It comes out on the 23rd, right?
23rd would be
It's the Friday.
Yeah, so 23rd would be next week.
Next week, yeah. I don't think it comes out on the 30th. I'm pretty sure it comes out.
Oh, are you just guessing? Are you just?
No, I know it comes out. I know it comes out on the 23rd or the 30th, but I'm almost certain it's the 23rd.
Movies, Magnificent Seven. September 23rd.
Yeah, so next week.
So, yeah, it opens a week from 2 days from now.
Yeah, so next week. Yeah, yep.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I actually might be going to see it for work, which should be cool because then I'll get to see it twice. So I don't know. We'll see.
So tell us about your review, your channel.
Yeah, if you don't know, for anyone who's watching, and I don't know why you wouldn't know, but I'm Bearded Movie Guy, and I have a channel where I review movies, and and talk about movies, such things. And it's called Bearded Movie Guy, and it has a cartoon picture of me with long hair, and I gotta see if I can get a short one. But I was thinking about that, like a guy at my work, after we saw Sully together. He went, "Oh, what's your channel?" I went, "Bearded Movie Guy," and he saw my thing, and it's a picture of me, but it's with long hair, and he went, "Oh, so that's not it. Where is it?" And I'm like, "No, that's it." It's just like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "It's like." He has long hair. I'm like, yeah, I did have long hair. I got short hair now. So I need to get a picture of short hair, but that's still me. And my strength was not in my hair, so don't worry, my movie knowledge hasn't gone anywhere. And that makes a freaking difference. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep talking until CP says something.
Yeah, so that's Peter.
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe, like, comment, all of the above. You could see his views on Sully a little bit further. So that'll do it for this week's rendition of show business. One more week of questionary movies, which I don't know. It's Snowden. If you'd asked me in January, I would have said it. It's an Oscar race movie. So clearly,
looks like one. Yeah.
You would think, but from Magnificent Seven on, you can really kind of point your finger at movies that look more like it. So, we've turned the corner, and if we haven't, we're about to. So, good movies ahead, folks. So, hang in there. For Peter, I'm CP. Have a day.